Time to dive into something wonderfully weird.
Oh, do tell.
It's this Hebrew podcast, the news report that you deserve.
Catchy. What's it all about?
Bizarre news stories.
No.
The kind that make you laugh, cringe, even wonder if they're actually true.
I'm in. You know I love a good dose of what better.
Exactly. And this particular episode we're diving into is their 5th one. And they're already over 30,000 listens, so they're definitely onto something.
Wow, that's impressive.
And today's selection is wild. Ankle monitors, dating billboards. We're talking headlines from Japan to India, and trust me, you'll be hooked.
Well, lay it on me. These oddball stories, they actually tell us a lot about ourselves, don't they? It's like holding up a funhouse mirror to society.
Totally. Like, take Rodolfo Santillan from Chicago. Not sure this counts as a healthy coping mechanism, but breaking into cars seems to be his thing.
This thing. Oh, this is going to be good.
It gets better. He got arrested twice in one day for, wait for it, breaking into cars.
No way. He's got a need for speed, huh?
More like a need for other people's stuff.
Yeah.
And get this, he was already wearing an ankle monitor from, you guessed it, previous car break-ins.
You can't make this stuff up. Okay, but seriously, it does make you wonder about the justice system, right? Do ankle monitors even work, or are they just a Band-Aid?
Right. It's almost comical, but also kind of sad. Like, are they effective or just a temporary fix?
That's the million-dollar question. Research is kind of all over the place. Sure, they track whereabouts, might make some folks feel safer.
But do they actually stop someone from reoffending?
Exactly. Poverty, lack of opportunity, addiction. Those are complex issues an ankle bracelet can't fix.
So true. It's not as simple as we'd like it to be.
Nope. But hey, at least this story gives us something to think about.
Speaking of unconventional approaches,
Uh-huh.
how about finding love on a billboard?
Wait, what? I need more details.
This guy, Robert Siegfried, in Wisconsin, decided dating apps were out. Billboards were in.
Bold move. What's his story?
Picture this. You're driving down the highway, and bam, there's this giant billboard with this guy's face on it.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Is he holding a fish? Please tell me he's holding a fish.
No fish this time. But he is holding a sign that says, "Looking for my soulmate."
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That is something else. So what's the deal with this guy? Millionaire, eccentric artist?
Nope. Just a regular dude who says dating apps weren't working. He went big, even put his criteria on the billboard. Honest, local.
Let me guess. Must love long walks on the beach.
Close. Willing to relocate.
Well, at least he's direct.
Right. And apparently he's gotten tons of responses, though maybe not the kind he was hoping for.
I can only imagine. So what's the catch? There's always a catch.
Oh, there's catch. Seems our billboard Romeo has a restraining order against him.
Whoa, okay. That changes things a bit. Maybe Tinder would have been the safer bet after all.
You think. Though maybe not as exciting.
True, true. But seriously, you gotta admire the guy's creativity. Or maybe it's desperation.
In the age of swiping left, maybe grand gestures still have their place.
Makes you think, huh? But speaking of complicated relationships, get ready for a love triangle, Indian style.
Oh boy, I am so ready. Hit me with it.
Okay.
So love triangle, right? Get this. This guy's lover, we'll call her Priya, runs off with his wife.
Ouch. That's gotta hurt.
Right. You'd think that's the end of it, right? But
Oh, there's more. Lay it on me.
this guy, he goes and proposes to Priya's wife.
He proposes. To the wife of the woman who... Hold on. I need to process this.
I know, right? It's like next level drama.
Seriously, is he trying to create the world's most awkward family reunion?
Maybe. Who knows what goes on in people's minds? Revenge, loyalty, or maybe he just really likes Priya's family.
I mean, hey, if the in-laws are nice... Okay, I'm kidding. But seriously, talk about complicated relationships, right?
Right, and it makes you think about how different cultures handle things like marriage, infidelity, even revenge.
Totally. What's scandalous here might be totally different somewhere else.
Exactly. Speaking of different, how about we jump over to Japan?
Oh, I love Japan. What bizarre news did they cook up?
No food this time.
Mm.
But they did find out they have way more islands than they thought.
Wait, what? How do you just lose track of islands?
It's not quite that dramatic. Seems their old count, from the 80s, used aerial photos and paper maps. Not exactly high-tech.
The good old days when you could get lost on purpose because no GPS.
Exactly. But now with digital mapping, turns out they have over 14,000 islands, more than double the old number.
Wow, that's a lot of real estate they didn't know they had. So what happens now? Did they get to claim more ocean territory because of this?
It's not that simple,
Right.
but it does have big implications for things like fishing rights, underwater resources, that kind of thing.
So huge economic impact potentially from a few extra islands. Wild.
Totally. It makes you wonder what else is out there,
Yeah.
Even in the 21st century, we're still discovering stuff about our own planet.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. Speaking of mind-blowing, let's start with this costume party. What happened?
So picture this. It's Purim in Netanya, Israel, and everyone's getting into the festive spirit. Costumes, celebrations, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah, Purim is a big deal. Lots of fun and festivities. What kind of celebrations are we talking about?
Well, with this local elementary school, there was a costume party going on. Kids all dressed up, excited. The scene.
Oh, I can just imagine the adorable chaos of an elementary school costume party.
Exactly. And then the teacher shows up.
Okay, I'm already sensing this isn't your average superhero or princess costume, is it?
Not even close.
Yeah.
This teacher decided to go all out with a shepherd costume.
A shepherd costume? That's a choice. I mean, I admire the commitment, but was there more to it?
Oh, there's more. This teacher decided to really commit to the theme and brought some unconventional guests.
Unconventional guests at an elementary school. Now I really need to know more.
The teacher brought a live sheep to the party.
Hold on, sheep? Like actual sheep?
Yeah.
At a school? I'm not sure those mix very well. Sheep and young children.
Well, it certainly caused quite a stir. Parents were divided. Some found it amusing. Others were concerned about hygiene and the kids' safety.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a recipe for disaster. Not to mention a logistical nightmare. Did the school have anything to say about this whole sheep situation?
It definitely sparked a debate about cultural sensitivity, animal welfare, and what's considered appropriate for a school event.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's one thing to encourage creativity, but bringing livestock to school seems like a whole different ballgame.
You got that right.
I'm curious to hear what happened after the sheep arrived, but we'll come back to that later because we've got a lot more to uncover on this deep dive.
Oh, absolutely. Buckle up, folks, because our next stop is going to be a wild ride.
I am so ready for another one of these stories. What's next?
All right, so this next story takes unruly passenger to a whole new level. We're talking about an incident on an American Airlines flight from New York to New Delhi.
Okay, New York to New Delhi, that's a long flight. People get a little stir-crazy on those long flights. What happened?
So there was this Indian student on board, and apparently he had a few too many drinks.
Uh-oh. This isn't going to be good, is it?
Yeah, it's not pretty. Basically, this student decided to relieve himself, but not in the bathroom.
Wait, he didn't?
Oh, he did. He urinated on a fellow passenger.
You have got to be kidding me. That is beyond unacceptable. What happened to the student?
American Airlines was not messing around. They slapped him with a lifetime ban from flying with them.
Wow, a lifetime ban. That's serious. But I gotta say, it's kind of hard to feel too bad for the guy considering what he did. What was the public reaction like?
Well, it's interesting because it really blew up, especially when people compared it to a similar incident that happened on an Indian airline a few months earlier.
Really? What happened on that flight and how did they handle it differently?
It was another case of someone urinating on a fellow passenger. But this time, the consequences were much more lenient.
Lenient? What does that even mean in this context? Did they just give the guy a slap on the wrist?
Pretty much. The guy faced some initial backlash, but the airline didn't impose any kind of serious ban.
Wow, talk about a stark contrast. Two very similar incidents, but vastly different responses. It makes you think about how airlines navigate these situations, especially when cultural differences might be at play.
It's definitely a complex issue. It raises questions about consistency, fairness, and what constitutes appropriate punishment in these situations. But maybe those are conversations for another deep dive, because up next we have something a little bit lighter.
A little bit later, I could use a palate cleanser after that last story, that's for sure. What do we have lined up next?
This next story is about a woman in the UK who found something pretty incredible while renovating her home. She was working on her house and found a 100-year-old dairy milk chocolate bar hidden under the floorboards.
A 100-year-old chocolate bar. That's amazing. I wonder what it tasted like after all those years.
It was probably more of a historical artifact than a tasty treat at that point.
Yeah,
Still, it's a fascinating discovery.
it really is. Imagine finding a little piece of history like that tucked away in your own home. I wonder if she tried to take a bite out of it.
I don't know about that, but I do know that this story sparked a lot of interest in the history of dairy milk chocolate. Apparently, it's a British institution.
Really? I'm not that familiar with it. Tell me more.
Well, it actually predates this chocolate bar by quite a bit. The company was founded back in 1905.
Wow, so the company has been around for over a century. They must be doing something right. But speaking of history, I'm ready for more of these global oddities. What else have you got for us? All right, so lingerie and history. Tell me about this next story.
This one's a real head scratcher. We're talking about China, and their government recently put some pretty strict rules in place, like really strict, about what you can show online. And get this, one of the things they banned, female models in lingerie ads. Can you believe that?
No female models in lingerie ads. That seems like a pretty tough rule for those companies to navigate. So what are they doing?
Well, they had to get creative. Instead of female models, they're using men.
Hold on, men? Like dudes in lingerie, that's their solution.
Yep, you heard that right. Male models are the new face, so to speak, of lingerie in China.
I don't even know what to say to that. That's wild. This seems like it would be tough to pull off. How are people reacting to this?
It's been pretty mixed, actually. Some people see it as this kind of tongue-in-cheek way to get around the censorship. You know, like, oh, you want to play it that way? Fine.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then there are others who see it as this really progressive move. Like, it challenges these old-school gender roles and beauty standards that we see in advertising all the time, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
That is an interesting take on it. I never thought about it that way. Are you ready for one last story?
Hit me with it. I'm ready for anything at this point.
Okay, buckle up. This one involves Donald Trump, a jail, and a newly recorded single.
Wait, what? You got to give me more to work with here. That's quite a combination. Okay, Trump, a jail, a single. My brain's already going into overdrive here. Details, please.
So picture this. The former president joins forces with a group of inmates from a Washington jail.
Okay, already unexpected. What kind of jail time are we talking about?
We're talking about some of the folks involved in the January 6th riots.
Yeah.
You know, the Capitol insurrection.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that definitely amps up the intrigue factor.
Mhm.
And they're recording a single together.
Yep. A patriotic song, no less. All about America, unity, that kind of thing.
You're kidding. It's like a bizarre PR stunt. Or maybe performance art.
Right. It's hard to know what to make of it. Some say it's a play for certain voters. Others think it's just Trump being Trump, staying relevant, stirring the pot.
Either way, it makes you think about the weird intersections of, well, everything. Politics, entertainment, the justice system. We've covered some seriously strange ground today. Ankle monitors, dating billboards, international love triangles, hidden islands, presidential jailhouse rock. Where do we even begin to process all that?
Right. It's like a crash course in you can't make this stuff up. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The world is full of surprises.
Absolutely. So which story takes the cake for you? What had you the most surprised, intrigued, baffled?
Ooh, that's tough. They were all so out there in their own way. But I
Yeah.
think that island count thing really got me. Like, we think we know our own planet, and then boom, thousands of islands just appear.
Right. It really puts things in perspective. For me, I think I'm still stuck on the Billboard Bachelor. That's
Life's
a
good.
commitment to finding love, you know?
Or maybe just a really good marketing strategy. We'll never know.
Exactly. And hey, isn't that the best part? The mystery, the unanswered questions. So to everyone listening, we leave you with this. Embrace the weird. Dive into those headlines that make you scratch your head. Because behind every bizarre news story, there's a whole world of intrigue waiting to be explored. And who knows? You might just learn something new about yourself along the way. Until next time, keep those curiosity engines running. See you on the next deep dive.